Hello, today I will share with you the best of Stoic philosophy. I know you probably use this video to fall asleep, so before starting, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also comment, where are you from and at what time are you watching? Now get comfortable and relax. Did you know that the secret to transforming your life's biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities might have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine facing life's storms with a calm so powerful that nothing could shake your inner peace. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This ancient superpower is an age-old philosophy that's as practical today as it was in the bustling markets and marble halls of ancient Rome and Greece. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control every aspect of our lives, we have absolute power over how we choose to react. And in today's world, where uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, these teachings could be the anchor we've all been searching for. So, whether you're dealing with stress, facing adversity, or simply looking to find more joy in the everyday, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, uncovering its timeless wisdom, and discovering how it can transform not just the way we think, but the way we live. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, fuming over the delay, or scrolling through your phone only to get upset over a negative comment someone left on your post? It happens to the best of us. It's almost like our day-to-day life is filled with these little tests, challenging our mood and peace of mind at every turn. But here's a game-changing perspective from the world of Stoicism that can turn all that frustration on its head. Stoicism, this incredible philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, hands us a powerful tool, focusing on what's in our control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a second. Traffic, bad weather, negative comments, these are all outside our control. We can't change them, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change, however, is how we react to them. This idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a giant in the field of psychology, famously stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This aligns perfectly with this practice. It's about recognizing that the only real power we have is over our own reactions, thoughts, and actions. Let's break it down a bit. Say you're in that traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can spend that time stewing in anger, honking your horn, and stressing out, which, let's be honest, won't make the cars ahead move any faster. Or you can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or simply enjoy some music. The traffic hasn't changed, but your response to it has. And with that shift, your stress levels drop, and your day looks a bit brighter. This principle of focusing on what you can control extends far beyond just dealing with traffic or weather. It applies to our personal goals, our reactions to others, and our approach to obstacles in life. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic heavyweight, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So, next time you find yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, remember these wise words from our friends. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Focus on your reaction, your mindset, and your actions. This simple shift can have a profound impact on your stress levels and overall happiness. It's not always easy, but it's worth practicing every day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And as we learn to focus more on what's in our control, we'll find ourselves not just surviving life's challenges, but thriving in spite of them. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. Stoicism teaches us the art of embracing obstacles as opportunities. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Most of us are programmed to view obstacles as just that, barriers to our success and happiness. But Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus flip this narrative on its head. They tell us, when life throws you a curveball, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn?" This is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned in his personal writings, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What he means here is that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, not only tests our resilience, but also teaches us valuable lessons. It's about finding the silver lining in tough situations and using it to fuel our growth. This perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it's backed by modern thinkers too. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." By fighting against obstacles, we give them more power over us. But by accepting and learning from them, we can overcome them. This mindset is about transforming challenges into stepping stones towards becoming stronger and wiser. Let's make it practical. Say you're facing rejection from job applications. It's easy to fall into a spiral of self-pity and doubt. But what if you viewed each rejection as feedback? Maybe there's a skill you need to improve, or a new strategy for your job search. That shift in perspective can turn a series of rejections into a path for professional development. Another example is personal conflicts. They're uncomfortable and stressful, but they also offer a chance to practice patience, empathy, and communication skills. Every disagreement is an opportunity to understand different viewpoints and refine our conflict resolution abilities. The essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities lies in asking ourselves, what can this situation teach me? Instead of being passive victims of circumstance, we become active learners and problem solvers. This doesn't mean that facing obstacles becomes easy, but it does mean that we approach them with a mindset geared toward growth and learning. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the heart of Stoicism. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain or frustration of an obstacle and finding the lessons and opportunities it presents. So, when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, try to pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how it can make you stronger and wiser. Remember, obstacles aren't just hurdles to overcome, they're opportunities to grow. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. 3. Living in the present moment. It's something we hear about all the time, right? Live in the now. But what does that really mean, and why is it so important? Living in the present moment is about fully embracing and experiencing where you are at this very second, not letting your mind wander off to the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. It's about realizing that life, with all its beauty, challenges, and surprises, happens in the now. This concept isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of philosophy, echoed by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and reiterated by modern psychologists and thinkers. Let's start with the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood that the power of living in the present lies in its ability to ground us, to clear our minds of distractions, and to allow us to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. But why is it so hard to stay present? Our minds are often cluttered with thoughts, worries about what's next, or replaying things that have already happened. This constant mental noise pulls us away from the beauty and potential of the here and now. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung put it, the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Living in the present moment gives meaning to the small, everyday experiences, enriching our lives beyond measure. Aristotle talked about the importance of being mindful of the present to achieve eudaimonia, or a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. He believed that by focusing on the here and now, we could live a virtuous life, making the most of our human experience. So, how can we practice living in the present? It starts with mindfulness. The art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, notice the feeling of the ground under your feet. Listen actively when someone is speaking to you, instead of planning what you're going to say next. These simple acts of mindfulness bring us back to the present, making our lives richer and more meaningful. Seneca offered this wisdom. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. He understood that anxiety about what's to come or what has been only serves to diminish our happiness in the now. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It's about finding a balance where we learn from our past and plan for our future, without letting those activities consume our present. It's in this balance that we find peace and contentment. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to reset and refocus on the now. It's in the present that we live, love, and make memories. So, let's make a conscious effort to be more present in our lives. Let's cherish the now, for this moment, right here, is where life truly happens. 4. Building self-discipline. I know the word self-discipline might bring to mind images of rigid schedules and a life devoid of fun, but let's reshape that picture together. Self-discipline is not about restricting your life. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. It's choosing what's right for you, not what's easy in the moment. At its core, building self-discipline is about mastery over ourselves. It's about saying yes to things that serve us and no to things that don't, even when it's tough. Think about it, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, saving money instead of impulse buying, or turning off Netflix to focus on a project. These choices might not deliver instant gratification, but they pave the way for long-term satisfaction and success. Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement highlights the essence of self-discipline. It's about controlling our impulses, emotions, and actions despite the external temptations and distractions that life throws our way. Seneca offers wisdom on the subject too. He advises us to be steadfast and control our desires, rather than being controlled by them. He understood that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our appetites. But why is self-discipline so critical? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, sheds light on this. He believed that we achieve excellence and virtue through habit. By practicing self-discipline, we cultivate habits that lead us toward our best selves. It's not about occasional acts of willpower, but about consistently making choices that reflect our values and goals. Building self-discipline also ties into modern psychological understanding. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our personality to live fully. This integration requires self-discipline, as we must navigate the desires of different parts of our psyche, choosing paths that contribute to our overall well-being and growth. So, how can we build self-discipline in our daily lives? Start small. Pick one area you want to improve, whether it's your diet, exercise routine, or spending habits. Set clear, achievable goals and take it one day at a time. Remember, every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're building the muscle of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's about progress, not perfection. Every day presents new opportunities to practice self-discipline, to choose actions that move us closer to who we want to be. Building self-discipline is a journey. It's about finding balance between what we want now and what we want most. It's about making choices that might be hard in the moment, but will bring us closer to our goals, happiness, and peace in the long run. Oh, let's commit to this journey together, supporting one another and choosing what's right, not what's easy. Remember, in the realm of self-discipline lies the path to achieving our dreams and living in the life we truly love. 5. Developing emotional resilience. When life throws its curveballs, we all experience a whirlwind of emotions. Feeling angry, sad, or frustrated is a natural part of being human. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the emotions we feel. It's about how we handle them. That's where the magic of emotional resilience comes in. Emotional resilience is like this superpower that allows us to navigate through life's storms with grace and come out stronger on the other side. It's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and then taking positive steps to move forward, rather than being swept away by the tide of our feelings. The Stoics had a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, for example, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight touches the essence of emotional resilience. It's about recognizing that while we might not have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we respond. Our emotions don't have to control our actions. Seneca offers wisdom on facing adversity without losing our composure. He teaches that life's hardships are tests of our character and resilience. By facing our feelings with understanding and patience, we can grow wiser and more robust. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, finding the balance between excess and efficiency. This concept applies beautifully to emotional resilience. It's about finding a balanced response to our emotions, not suppressing them or letting them overpower us. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our psyche to achieve wholeness. Part of this process involves confronting our emotions, understanding them, and learning from them. This is at the heart of developing emotional resilience. So, what can you do when you're in the grip of strong emotions? First, give yourself permission to feel. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Then, take a step back and try to understand what triggered these feelings. This reflection can provide valuable insights into your emotional patterns and triggers. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that our reactions to our emotions can shape our experiences. Instead of being reactive, we can choose to respond in a way that is constructive and healing. Developing emotional resilience is a journey. It involves practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and patience. It's about building a toolkit of coping strategies, like journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing relaxation techniques. Most importantly, it's about treating yourself with kindness and compassion. as you navigate through your emotions. Emotional resilience is not about never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to ride the waves of those emotions with grace and coming out on the other side stronger and more self-aware. By developing emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with courage and poise. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting each other and becoming more emotionally resilient, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will pass away. The Stoics used this concept not to create fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for every moment. They believed that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we would live more fully, consciously, and with gratitude for the present. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often reflected on the transience of life, encouraging us to live in a way that's true to our values and to make the most of the time we're given. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, he wrote. This isn't about being morose. It's a call to action, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with purpose and integrity. Seneca, too, spoke about the shortness of life, urging us not to waste time on trivialities, but to focus on creating a meaningful existence. He believed that being mindful of death encourages us to live more wisely and to cherish our relationships and experiences. Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on the present and making the best use of our time. By remembering that we won't live forever, we're more likely to live ethically and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life. How can we incorporate memento mori into our own lives without it feeling like a dark cloud over our heads? It starts with shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing the awareness of death as something fearful, we can view it as a powerful motivator to live our lives to the fullest. It's about embracing the present, not postponing our dreams or happiness for some undefined future that's not guaranteed. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's pursuing a passion, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking time to appreciate the small joys of everyday life. Memento mori reminds us not to take our time for granted. It encourages us to live more authentically, to say what we mean, to love openly, and to be present in our lives. This concept also teaches us to appreciate the impermanence of life, which in turn deepens our gratitude for the moments we have. When we remember that our time is limited, we're more likely to cherish our experiences, to live more mindfully, and to express our gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. So, let's use memento mori, not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for growth, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation of life. Let it remind us to make choices that align with our deepest values, to cherish our relationships, and to savor the beauty of the present moment. Remembering that we will die one day encourages us to live more fully today. In embracing memento mori, we find a powerful reminder to live, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. Let's make every moment count, not because we're afraid of its end, but because we're in love with life itself. Let's live in a way that, when our time does come, we can look back with no regrets, knowing we lived fully, loved deeply, and appreciated the incredible journey that life is. 7. Practicing gratitude. It's fascinating how such a simple concept can profoundly impact our lives. Gratitude is about shifting our focus to what we have, rather than dwelling on what we're missing. This practice can be a real game changer, especially on those days that feel like an uphill battle. The Stoics, wise as they were, had a lot to say about gratitude. They believed that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple things. He said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is gratitude in its purest form, recognizing the value of life itself and the many gifts it offers us each day. Seneca talked about how our desires can lead us astray, always chasing after more and never finding true satisfaction. He suggested that by focusing on what we have and understanding that the best things in life are already within our grasp, we can find real contentment. Epictetus, known for his followers to appreciate their current circumstances, whatever they might be, he believed that by accepting and finding value in our present situation, we could live a more fulfilled life. But how do we practice gratitude, especially when life throws curveballs our way? It starts with making it a daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. This practice helps rewire our brains to focus on the positive, boosting our mood and overall outlook on life. Gratitude also means embracing challenges and finding lessons within them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective helps us appreciate our experiences, both good and bad, as valuable steps on our journey. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us build stronger connections with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we not only brighten their day, but also strengthen our own resilience. A simple thank you can go a long way in showing someone that they're valued and loved. Aristotle spoke about the importance of recognizing the good in our lives and striving for a virtuous life. He believed that gratitude was key to achieving eudaimonia, or true happiness, as it allows us to appreciate the goodness around us and within ourselves. Even modern psychology supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly experience less anxiety, sleep better, and have a more positive outlook on life. As Carl Jung said, the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. By acknowledging and being grateful for the full spectrum of our experiences, we find a deeper, more authentic form of happiness. So let's make gratitude a cornerstone of our daily lives. Let's celebrate the small victories, cherish the moments of connection, and find joy in the simple pleasures. By focusing on what we have, not on what we're missing, we can cultivate a sense of abundance and happiness that shines from within. Remember, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's fill our glasses half full, raise them high, and toast to the beauty of gratitude in our lives. Cheers to finding the silver lining, even on the cloudiest of days. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. The Stoics had a profound understanding of personal excellence. They believed that excellence, or virtue, is the sole good, and that everything we do should aim toward living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, is a prime example of someone who strived for personal excellence. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the essence of personal excellence. It's about embodying the values we admire and striving to live by them every day. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-improvement and continuous learning. He advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature and reason, suggesting that true excellence comes from within and is reflected in our actions and choices. Epictetus highlighted the role of personal responsibility in achieving excellence. He taught that our reactions, emotions, and will are within our control, and mastering them is key to living a life of virtue. But what does focusing on personal excellence look like in our day-to-day lives? It starts with setting personal standards based on our values and aspirations, not on societal expectations or the achievements of others. It's about knowing who we are, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is also about resilience. It's about how we respond to setbacks and failures, not just our successes. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than seeing them as obstacles. Moreover, focusing on personal excellence involves cultivating a growth mindset, a concept championed by modern psychology. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as a path to mastery. Personal excellence also means living authentically. It's about being true to ourselves and our values, even when it's not easy. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and who we want to be, and taking pride in our journey, including both the struggles and the triumphs. Practicing gratitude, as we discussed earlier, ties into personal excellence too. By appreciating what we have and where we are on our journey, we foster a positive outlook that supports our growth and well-being. So let's commit to focusing on personal excellence. Let's set our own standards, embrace our unique paths, and take pride in our progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of who we are and how we live. It's about celebrating our efforts, learning from our experiences, and always striving to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let's make personal excellence not just a goal, but a way of life. 9. Not caring what others think. In a world saturated with social media, where likes, follows, and comments often dictate self-worth, it's easy to fall into the trap of valuing ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. But here's a liberating truth. Your worth isn't based on external validation. It's about being true to yourself, embracing your authenticity, and living in alignment with your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we often turn to for timeless wisdom, had much to say about this. They taught that our inner peace and freedom come from focusing on what's within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our integrity, not the ever-changing opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." This striking observation highlights a paradox many of us live with, valuing others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Seneca echoed this sentiment by emphasizing the importance of living a life true to one's self, not one shaped by the expectations or approval of others. He believed that true contentment comes from within, from living a life that aligns with our principles and values. Epictetus taught that worrying about others' opinions is outside our control and therefore not worth our energy. He encouraged focusing instead on our own actions and on living virtuously, as that's where our true power lies. So, how can we start caring less about what others think and more about being true to ourselves? First, understand that you are the author of your life story. You have the power to define your worth, not society, not your social media followers, nor the people around you. Ground your self-esteem in who you are, the values you stand for, the kindness you spread, and the effort you put into being your best self. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, Whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's mold? Reflecting on these questions can help realign your actions with your true self. Third, embrace vulnerability. Being true to yourself means being open about your flaws and all, understanding that we are reflections of our progress, making mistakes and learning from them. This authenticity attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate the real you. Moreover, remember the words of Aristotle, who spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in life. Applying this to our concern for others' opinions means finding a healthy balance between considering constructive feedback and maintaining our autonomy and self-worth. Incorporating a Stoic mindset into our lives means understanding that our worth is determined by our virtues, our actions, and our commitment to living a meaningful life, not by external accolades or approval. It's about building a strong inner fortress that remains unshaken by the fleeting opinions of others. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, not for the likes, follows, or approval we receive. Let's be courageous in our authenticity, living lives that resonate with our deepest truths. Remember, your worth is inherent and unique. By being true to yourself, you shine your light in the most genuine way possible. Let's not just navigate life, but thrive in it, with the confidence that comes from knowing we are living authentically, aligned with our values, and true to ourselves. 10. Accepting change. Here's the thing, accepting change is not just necessary, it's vital for our growth and happiness. The reality is, the only constant in life is change. Learning to go with the flow and embrace life's inevitable shifts makes navigating them less scary and more of an adventure. The Stoics had an incredibly healthy perspective on change. They saw it as a natural part of the universe's rhythm. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This profound acceptance of change as part of life's fabric helps us understand that each change, whether we perceive it as good or bad, has its place in our story. Seneca taught that becoming too attached to our current circumstances can lead to disappointment because inevitably those circumstances will change. He advised us to be flexible and to understand that change is not just a part of life, but a necessary component of our personal development and happiness. Epictetus encouraged us to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't. While we can't control our attitudes towards them, this mindset is incredibly empowering when it comes to dealing with change. It's about focusing on our responses, finding opportunities for growth within the change, and moving forward with resilience. But how can we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging that change is inevitable. It's the natural order of things. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, people come and go, and our very selves are renewing themselves as we speak. Embracing change means embracing life itself. Second, by practicing mindfulness. Being present in the moment allows us to appreciate our current experiences without clinging to them. This awareness creates space for acceptance when those experiences inevitably evolve or come to an end. Third, by seeking the lessons in change. Every shift in our lives, no matter how challenging, comes with opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can turn the challenges of change into stepping stones for personal development. Aristotle spoke about the importance of pursuing a virtuous life as the key to happiness. A part of virtue is adaptability, the ability to navigate life's changes with grace and wisdom. It's about finding balance and harmony within the flux of life. Modern psychology supports this Stoic approach to change, viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat. can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. It enhances our resilience, making us better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. Let's remind ourselves that change is not just something to endure, but to welcome as a natural, enriching part of our journey. By accepting change, we open ourselves to new experiences, growth, and the beautiful unfolding of our unique paths in life. Remember, going with the flow isn't about passivity. It's about actively engaging with life in its full dynamic complexity. Let's navigate the currents of change with courage, grace, and a heart open to the endless possibilities that change brings. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. Despite our differences, we're all in this together, navigating the complex journey of life. By fostering an understanding and caring attitude toward others, we contribute to making the world a kinder, more loving place. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who continue to enlighten us with their timeless wisdom, placed great importance on the virtues of compassion and empathy. They believed in the interconnectedness of all humans and taught that kindness and understanding toward others are essential aspects of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminded us that human beings are social creatures by nature, meant to live in harmony and cooperation with one another. He said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This beautifully illustrates the idea that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of treating others with kindness and generosity. He argued that compassion is a natural human instinct, and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. In his writings, Seneca encourages us to extend our empathy even to those who have wronged us, understanding that they too are acting out of their own struggles and limitations. Epictetus taught that we should strive to understand others' perspectives, recognizing that everyone has their reasons for their actions. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather approaching others with a mindset of empathy, seeking to understand their experiences and viewpoints. But how can we practice compassion and empathy in our daily lives? It starts with listening, truly listening, to the stories, experiences, and feelings of those around us. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes, imagining their struggles, their joys, their fears, and their hopes. This act of understanding can bridge the gap between us, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Another way to cultivate compassion and empathy is through acts of kindness, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear, these can all make a significant difference in someone's day. By being present and attentive to others, we signal that they matter, that their feelings and experiences are valid and important. Practicing compassion and empathy also means being there for others in times of need, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every person, regardless of our differences. The ancient philosopher Aristotle spoke about the importance of friendship and the role of empathy in building strong, meaningful relationships. He believed that true friends not only share in each other's joys, but also in their sorrows, supporting each other with empathy and understanding. Modern psychology supports the Stoic emphasis on compassion and empathy, showing that these virtues not only enhance our relationships, but also our own emotional well-being. By caring for others, we foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and happiness in our own lives. Let's remind ourselves that behind every face is a story. Behind every action is a reason. By understanding and caring for each other, we make the world a kinder, gentler place. In doing so, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also find deeper fulfillment and joy in our own lives. Together, let's spread kindness like confetti, creating ripples of compassion that transform the world, one act of empathy at a time. 12. Reflecting and reviewing regularly, this is about taking a pause, a real, meaningful pause, to look back on our actions, our thoughts, and the paths we've tread. It's about growth, introspection, and aligning our lives with our deepest values. In a world that's always rushing forward, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're not just being swept away, but are sailing in the direction that's true to us. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, placed immense value on the practice of reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, which we now treasure as meditations, offered a model of this practice. He didn't just rule an empire, he took the time to examine his life, his decisions, and his moral compass through writing. He saw this reflection as essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," he wrote, reminding us that our internal dialogue shapes our external reality. Seneca recommended regular self-assessment as a way to foster self-improvement and wisdom. He likened life to a play, suggesting that we periodically review our roles and performances. Are we acting in harmony with the character we wish to embody? Are our actions reflective of the script we value? The script of our lives? Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review of their actions and attitudes. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and growth. He urged us to ask ourselves, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What duties were left undone? Through such questions, we can steer our lives more consciously, making adjustments that bring us closer to our ideals. But how do we incorporate this practice of reflection and review into our modern lives? First, by making it a habit. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps before bedtime, to reflect on your day. What were your victories? Where did you face challenges, and how did you respond? This practice can start as a mental exercise, but writing it down can enhance its benefits, giving you a tangible record of your journey. Second, use reflection as a tool for gratitude. In reviewing your day, also take note of the moments, no matter how small, that brought you joy or gratitude. This balances our natural tendency to focus on the negative, cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Third, approach this practice with kindness and compassion toward yourself. Reflection is not about berating yourself for mistakes, but about recognizing them as opportunities for learning and growth. Be as understanding and supportive to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Aristotle spoke about the importance of living a reflective life. He believed that true wisdom comes from understanding ourselves, our actions, and our place in the world. This reflection is the essence of living an examined life, one that's in accordance with virtue and excellence. In modern psychology, the benefits of regular reflection are well documented, showing improvements in mental health, clarity of purpose, and personal growth. Reflecting on our experiences helps us process emotions, learn from our actions, and make more informed decisions moving forward. Let's commit to this practice of reflecting and reviewing regularly. Let it be our guidepost, ensuring that we are not just passively experiencing life, but actively shaping it according to our values. By taking the time to look back, we gain the insight needed to move forward more aligned, more aware, and more in tune with the essence of who we are and who we aspire to be. Let's cherish this journey of introspection, for it is in knowing ourselves that we find the path to true fulfillment and joy. Each of these lessons from Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom. They are life hacks that can help us deal with stress, make better decisions, and find peace in chaos. Remember, it's not the challenges along the way that define us, but the strength we find in facing them, the wisdom we gather, and the compassion we share. Each step, each reflection, each act of kindness is a brushstroke in the masterpiece that is your life. Applying these principles is a cornerstone to your growth, but learning never stops. We suggest watching this video on what to do when life is crushing you. So, let's not just exist. Let's live vibrantly, purposefully, and authentically. As we part ways today, I encourage you not to let the inspiration end here. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. This is one of the many wise quotes from ancient philosophy, which teaches us how to live a virtuous and happy life in a chaotic and uncertain world. But how can we apply this to our daily lives? One of the best ways to do that is to develop some nightly habits that will help us reflect on our actions, learn from our mistakes, and prepare for the next day. In this video, I will share with you 7 simple but powerful nightly habits that will make you more resilient, calm, and focused. But before we get into that, I challenge you to not be weak, but rather to be resilient and focused by staying with me till the end of the video. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Habit 1. Review your day. Every night, before you close your eyes, you have a golden opportunity to become a better version of yourself. You have the chance to look back at your day and see how you have lived, how you have acted, and how you have grown. This is not a time to judge yourself harshly or dwell on your failures. This is a time to learn from your experiences and celebrate your successes. This is a time to practice the first habit. Review your day. This habit was taught by Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers who ever lived. He wrote, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that's now mine, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." Seneca knew that by reviewing his day, he could evaluate his actions and thoughts and see how well he had followed the principles of wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. He could also cultivate gratitude for the things that went well and forgiveness for himself and others for the things that went wrong. By doing this, he could improve his character, his happiness, and his impact on the world. And so can you. All you need to do is ask yourself some simple questions every night, like, what did I do well today? What did I do poorly today? What did I learn today? How can I improve tomorrow? These questions will help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, your achievements and mistakes, your lessons and opportunities. They will help you appreciate what you have and aspire for what you want. They will help you become more aware of yourself and more aligned with your values. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Write them down. Writing them down will make them more concrete, more memorable, and more actionable. Writing them down will also create a record of your progress, your challenges, and your growth. Habit 2. Meditate on your mortality. Every night, before you drift into sleep, you have a rare opportunity to awaken your soul and ignite your passion. You have the chance to face the ultimate reality of life, death. This habit may sound scary, but it is actually liberating. It is a habit that was embraced by the ancient Stoics, who were fearless and wise. They knew that death is inevitable and unpredictable, and that we should not fear it or avoid it, but rather face it with courage and dignity. They also knew that death can be a source of motivation and inspiration, as it reminds us that our time is limited and precious, and that we should not waste it on trivial things. One of the ways to meditate on your mortality is to use a technique called memento mori, which means remember that you will die. You can do this by imagining that this is your last night on Earth and asking yourself some powerful questions. How would I feel about my life if I knew I was going to die tomorrow? What would I regret not doing or saying? What would I be proud of or grateful for? These questions will help you put things into perspective, prioritize what matters most, and live each day as if it were your last. They will help you appreciate what you have and pursue what you want. They will help you express your love and fulfill your purpose. They will help you become more resilient, calm, and focused. But don't just ask these questions. Feel them. Feel them in your heart, in your gut, in your bones. Feel them as if they were true, as if this was really your last night on earth. Feel the emotions that arise, the sadness, the joy, the fear, the gratitude. By feeling these emotions every night, you will create a powerful habit that will transform your life. Meditate on your mortality and make every day count. Habit 3. Detach from external things. This means that you should not let your joy or sorrow depend on things that are beyond your power, such as wealth, fame, honor, or other people's judgments. The Stoics knew that the only thing we can master is our own mind and will, and that everything else is subject to fate and fortune. They also knew that external things are not good or evil in themselves, but only in relation to how we view them and respond to them. One of the ways to rise above the world is to use a technique called negative visualization, which means envisioning the worst-case scenario. You can do this by imagining that you have lost or never had some of the things you value or desire, and then asking yourself, how would I endure if this happened? How would I find joy without this? How would I grow from this? By doing this habit, you will be able to weaken your attachment and fear, increase your appreciation and satisfaction, and ready yourself for any possible outcome. So do not be enslaved by the world. Be free from it. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define yourself. If you have made it to this point in the video, you are truly strong, and I know you will make it till the end. Habit 4. Focus on your purpose. This is not a vague or trivial matter, but a vital and noble one. You have a destiny to fulfill, a mission to accomplish, and a legacy to leave behind. You have a spark of divinity within you, and you must fan it into a flame that illuminates the world. The Stoics understood that we are not here by chance, but by providence. We are part of a cosmic order, and we have a duty to uphold it. We are not mere spectators, but active participants. We are not isolated individuals, but interconnected beings. We are not passive consumers, but creative contributors. To focus on your purpose, you must practice prosouche, or attention. This is the art of being mindful and aware of your thoughts, words, and deeds. You must constantly ask yourself questions like, what is my purpose in life? What is the most excellent way to pursue it? What is the most urgent thing to do right now? By doing this habit, you will sharpen your vision, align your actions, and prioritize your tasks. You will not waste time on distractions, but invest it in essentials. You will not drift aimlessly, but move purposefully. Habit 5. Practice self-discipline. What if I told you that you have the power to shape your destiny, overcome any obstacle, and achieve any goal? This is the truth that the ancient Stoics knew and practiced. They knew that the key to living a good life is to practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to control your impulses and emotions and to act according to reason and virtue. It's the ability to choose what is right over what is easy, what is noble over what is base, and what is lasting over what is fleeting. It's the ability to avoid excesses and vices and to cultivate moderation and virtues. It's the ability to challenge yourself to do something difficult or uncomfortable every day, such as waking up early, exercising, eating healthy, or helping others. By doing this, you will be able to strengthen your willpower, overcome your weaknesses, and improve your skills. You will be able to face any situation with courage, wisdom, and calmness. This habit has the power to transform your life, turning you into a master of yourself and your own story. Make it your nightly habit. Make it your way of life. Habit 6. Relax and sleep well. You've made it to the last habit, and it's a simple one. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This habit is crucial for your well-being, and it can make or break your success. The Stoics knew that relaxation and sleep are not luxuries but necessities. They are not distractions but investments. They are not indulgences but rewards. They understood that relaxation and sleep are the best ways to recharge your batteries, restore your balance, and renew your strength. They also knew how to relax and sleep well using a powerful technique called ataraxia, which means tranquility. You can practice ataraxia by breathing deeply and slowly letting go of any tension or stress, stretching your body and releasing any stiffness or pain, meditating on your purpose or your values, praying to your higher power or your inner wisdom. By doing this habit, you will be able to relax your mind, relax your body, and sleep like a baby. And when you wake up, you will be ready to face the day with confidence, courage, and clarity. This habit is the final touch to your lifestyle, and it will make all the difference. So don't neglect it, don't underestimate it, and don't sacrifice it for anything. Relax and sleep well, my friend. You deserve it. These are the 6 nightly habits that will make you more resilient, calm, and focused. If you practice them consistently, you will be able to live a virtuous and happy life in a chaotic and uncertain world. But don't just take my word for it. Try them for yourself and see the results. What makes you happy? Is it your family or your loved ones? Is it money, or is it simply peace of mind? You see, the Stoics of old, like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, had a different definition of true happiness. They didn't see happiness the way the media portrays it today, or the way most people understand it. So, the question is, how can you be truly happy? Today, we are going to share with you 10 principles that can help you become genuinely happier in 2025. These principles are so powerful, so practical, that even if you choose to apply just 2 of them, they could change your life forever. So buckle up and stay attentive, because this is going to be a life-changing experience. Let our journey begin. 1. Stop doubting yourself. Start believing. Doubt is a formidable foe, often lurking in our minds like an unwelcome guest. But here's the catch. It's not about completely eradicating doubt. It's about managing it with a strong mindset. You see, even the Stoics weren't immune to self-doubt, but they knew the art of harnessing it. Take Marcus Aurelius, for instance, a man who ruled an empire yet found time to question and counsel himself. His approach wasn't about ignoring doubt, but about challenging it. He asked, "Is this thought beneficial? Does it improve or hinder my life?" This is a cue for us. When doubt creeps in, we can confront it with these questions, transforming it from an obstacle into a tool for self-reflection and growth. It's humorous in a way, how we often magnify our doubts, while the solutions are simpler than we think. Aurelius mused, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." These words aren't just poetic. They're a practical mantra. Picture this. You're about to start a new project or take up a new hobby. Doubt whispers, "You can't." Here's where you flip the script. Acknowledge the doubt, then counter it with evidence of your past successes, however small they might seem. This simple act of self-belief can be the first step toward a happier you. Remember, happiness doesn't come from the absence of doubt, but from your ability to believe in yourself despite it. 2. Reflect on your life. Have you ever paused your Netflix binge to wonder, is this it? Let's be real. Reflecting on your life doesn't mean you have to climb a mountain and meditate. It's about taking a moment, maybe while you're sipping your morning coffee, to ask yourself some serious questions. You can ask yourself questions like, what makes me get out of bed every morning? Why do I act the way I do? Now imagine your life as a movie. Would you watch it, or would you doze off before the opening credits end? Reflecting isn't about being harsh on yourself. It's about being honest. If your daily routine were a YouTube video, would you hit the like button or scroll past it? Remember, you're the director of this show. It's in your hands to make it binge-worthy. Let's talk dreams. Not the weird ones about showing up to work in your pajamas, but your real, I want this so bad dreams. Are they sitting on a shelf, collecting dust? It's time to dust them off and break them down into steps as simple as your morning to-do list. Think about it. If you can remember to charge your phone every night, you can definitely take small steps toward your dreams. Your life story is yours to write, so make it one you'd love to tell. 3. Focus on what you can control. Life's unpredictability can sometimes feel overwhelming, but there's a secret to staying serene. Focus on what you can control. Just like when you're playing a video game, you can't control the design of the levels or the behavior of other players, but you can master your moves. Similarly, in life, concentrate on your actions, thoughts, and attitudes. These are your joystick and buttons. Use them wisely. Seneca, a well-known Stoic philosopher, once found himself exiled. Most would see exile as a loss of control, but not Seneca. He turned inward, focusing on his writing and thoughts, cultivating his inner garden. This wasn't a retreat, but a strategic focus on what he could control. His writings from this period are a testament to the power of directing energy where it matters most. Some things are in our control, and others not. A quote often attributed to Epictetus encapsulates the essence of Stoicism. Epictetus himself knew the limits of his control and focused instead on his inner life, thoughts, and responses. In embracing this philosophy, we too can become not just happier, but also more content and resilient, just as he was amidst life's chaos. Remember, it's not about controlling the storm, but about learning to dance in the rain. 4. Be kind to others. There is a famous saying, you get what you give. Imagine throwing a pebble into a lake. The ripples it creates spread far and wide, reaching places the pebble never could. That's the power of doing good for others. Every small act of kindness, whether it's holding the door for someone or sharing a smile, creates ripples in the world around us. It's not about grand gestures, it's the everyday kindness that truly counts. By making someone else's day a little brighter, we inadvertently light up our own. Now here's the catch. The good you do often finds its way back to you, but not always in the way you expect. It's like throwing a boomerang of kindness. It will return, sometimes in the form of a thankful smile, other times as a helping hand when you least expect it. This isn't about keeping score, but rather understanding that our actions contribute to a kinder, more compassionate world. In this world, happiness finds fertile ground to grow. Seneca, who understood the power of benevolence, once said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Seneca didn't just preach positivity, he practiced generosity and kindness, often advising and helping others without expecting anything in return. His life teaches us that true happiness doesn't come from what we acquire, but from what we give. Let's walk into 2025 with open hearts, ready to spread kindness. After all, a good deed is a step toward a happier life. 5. Do less better. Ever tried juggling? Start with too many balls and they all end up on the floor. Life's a bit like that. Trying to do everything often leads to achieving little. The key lies in doing less, but doing it better. It's not about the quantity of tasks, but the quality of your engagement. Choose a few things that truly matter to you and give them your all. This focused approach not only enhances your skills, but also brings a deeper sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Simplifying life isn't about having less, it's about having more of what counts. Trim down your to-do list to the essentials, like a sculptor chiseling away the excess to reveal a beautiful statue. Remove the unnecessary from your life to uncover your true priorities. This clarity leads to action, and action leads to happiness. By focusing on fewer things, you can channel your energy more effectively, making each effort count. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Concentrate every minute, like a Roman, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, and with justice." He was not just a ruler of an empire, but also a ruler of his time and focus. He prioritized, deliberated, and acted with intention. In our pursuit of happiness, let's remember his wisdom. By focusing on doing less but doing it better, we open ourselves to a world of excellence and contentment. Let's narrow our gaze to broaden our impact. 6. Be grateful. Let's take a moment and think about gratitude. You know, it's like finding a $5 bill in your old jacket. It was always there, but the moment you find it, your day gets a little brighter. That's what gratitude does to life. It's about appreciating the small things. A warm cup of coffee, a text from a friend, the sunset. When you start noticing and being thankful for these moments, life suddenly becomes richer. It's not about waiting for big things to happen. It's about finding joy in the ordinary. Now, how do you make gratitude a habit? It's actually simple. You could keep a gratitude journal. Each night, jot down something you were grateful for that day. It could be as simple as enjoying a quiet moment, or as big as achieving a personal goal. This practice shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present in your life. And trust me, the more you look for things to be grateful for, the more you find them. Epictetus once remarked, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This man found richness in his simple, constrained life by focusing on what he had, not what he lacked. His message to us in 2025, let's embrace gratitude. By recognizing and cherishing the abundance in our lives, we open doors to happiness and contentment. Remember, it's not happiness that brings gratitude, but gratitude that brings happiness. 7. Stop seeking external approval. The quest for external approval. It's like chasing a shadow that always eludes us. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy surprisingly relevant in our lives, teaches us a powerful lesson here. First off, let's get real, everyone. At some point, craves a thumbs up from others. But here's the twist. Stoicism nudges us to flip the script. It's about looking inward for validation, not outward. Imagine your self-worth as a fortress. Why let someone else hold the keys? Now, onto the practical stuff. How do you actually stop this approval-seeking mission? Start by recognizing your own achievements, no matter how small. Did you make your bed this morning? That's a win. Take a moment to appreciate these tiny victories. They add up. Trust me, it's like building a mental muscle in your mind, and between the day where you lost and the day where you achieved it, you can build new tissues. You want to be better than you were yesterday? Refocus on that goal. Trust me, it's like building a mental muscle to push forward and build mental habits to make you the best version of yourself. One where you're both the coach and the cheerleader. And when you feel the urge to fish for compliments or likes on social media, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for the gram? Here's a little secret. Your opinion is the one that truly matters. Every day try to do something that makes you proud, not for the applause but for your own sense of achievement. It's about rewiring our brains to seek internal rather than external validation. Think of it as mental decluttering, less focus on others' opinions, more space for your own growth. It's not about becoming indifferent to others, but about being true to yourself. This shift in mindset is not just liberating, it's empowering. 8. Challenge yourself. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. It's steep, challenging, and at times you wonder why you even started. But here's the thing, every step up that mountain makes you stronger and more resilient. Stoicism, a philosophy as old as the hills yet as fresh as tomorrow's sunrise, tells us that life's true fulfillment comes from overcoming challenges, not avoiding them. So in 2025, let's turn our daily grind into our personal Everest. Now, you might be thinking, easier said than done, right? Well, it isn't about transforming overnight. It's about small, steady changes. Start by setting a goal that pushes your limits yet is achievable. It could be learning a new skill, improving your fitness, or even just reading a book a month. The key isn't the goal itself, but the growth that comes from reaching for it. Each small victory is a step up your mountain. Do remember, climbing a mountain isn't a solo journey. Share your challenges and your victories with others. Stoicism teaches us the power of community and support. By sharing your journey, you not only gain allies, but also inspire others to start their own climbs. So, as we step into 2025, let's challenge ourselves, support each other, and enjoy the view from our personal summits. Happy climbing. 9. Laugh more. Laughing more isn't just a cheerful suggestion, it's a cornerstone of a contented life. Echoing the wisdom of the ancient Stoics, take Chrysippus, a Stoic philosopher who reportedly died of laughter. While that's an extreme example, it underscores a profound truth. Laughter is serious business. It's a tool that lightens our burdens and brings perspective to our challenges. Just imagine for a moment the absurdity of life's little dramas seen through a lens of humor. Your coffee spills, and instead of frustration, there's a chuckle about the universe's quirky timing. That's the principles in action, reminding us that not everything deserves a furrowed brow. Now, how do you fit more laughter into the puzzle of modern life? It's simpler than you might think. Start by seeking the lighthearted side of daily situations. Traffic jam? It's a chance to play your favorite comedy podcast. Tough day at work? Swap stories with friends about who had the most bizarre encounter. This isn't about ignoring life's complexities. It's about choosing a joyful perspective. It's a practical Stoic approach. Control what you can, your outlook and reaction, and let go of what you can't. Laughter is a shared melody. It connects us, making our collective journey a bit brighter. So, next time you find something amusing, share it. Be that person who brings a smile to others. Your laughter becomes a ripple, touching lives in ways you might never see. That's the essence of Stoicism, finding harmony within and spreading it outward. It's not just about enduring life, but embracing it joyously. So go ahead, laugh a bit more. It's not just good for the soul, it's wisdom echoing through the ages. 10. Love your fate. Love your fate. It sounds like a tall order, right? Yet, this is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism intersects with our fast-paced, tech-savvy world. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or enduring pain with a stiff upper lip. It's about embracing whatever life throws at you with a positive spirit. Think of it like surfing. Waves will come, big and small, but it's your skill in riding them that counts, not the size of the wave. So how do you love your fate in a world where your fate can include anything from a missed Uber to a critical email disappearing into the digital abyss? Start by reframing your mindset. When something doesn't go your way, see it as an opportunity to grow. Miss that Uber? It's a chance to take a brisk walk and enjoy some fresh air. Email vanish, time to improve your tech skills. It's not about being blindly optimistic, but about finding the silver lining in every cloud. This approach is not just about making the best of a bad situation, it's about transforming challenges into stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely noted, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very obstacles you face can pave your path to success. Next time your Wi-Fi acts up during an important call, instead of fuming, take a moment to appreciate the unplugged world. Maybe strike up a conversation with someone nearby, or jot down those creative ideas you've been postponing. In essence, loving your fate is about embracing life's unpredictable nature with agility and grace. It's choosing to dance in the rain instead of waiting for the storm to pass. As we step into 2025, remember, life is not just happening to you, it's happening for you. Every twist, turn, and tumble is an invitation to grow stronger, wiser, and happier. So surf those waves with a smile and watch how your world transforms. As we wrap up this journey through the principles of Stoicism and our quest for a happy 2025, remember, the power to shape your happiness lies within you. Like the ancient Stoics taught, focus on what's in your control, let go of what isn't, and embrace the present. We fully recommend watching our video on how to fix your sleep, a short dose of useful information. Ever heard the saying, "Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm"? It's a powerful reminder, connected to ancient Stoic wisdom, about the importance of balancing kindness with self-care. Yet, In today's rush to be seen as good, to always be the one who gives, many have twisted the noble act of kindness into a self-destructive habit. We are often told to go above and beyond, to push our limits for the sake of others. But at what cost? The truth is, too much kindness, when it drains your own resources, energy, and well-being, is not a virtue, but a path to ruin. Many have lost their way, giving so much of themselves that they're left feeling empty, unappreciated, and burned out. It's a modern-day tragedy, where the best of intentions lead to the worst of outcomes. Stoicism shows us another way, a way to be generous without losing oneself, a way to be kind, but also kind to oneself. It teaches us the art of balanced generosity, ensuring our actions enrich others' lives, while also safeguarding our own well-being. In this video, we'll unveil how Stoic principles can help you set healthy boundaries so your kindness becomes a source of strength, not depletion. We'll explore how to give without losing, love without hurting, and be there for others without disappearing from our own lives. Stay with us as we navigate the fine line between generosity and self-preservation, guided by the wisdom of Stoicism. 1. Don't set yourself on fire to warm others. Too much kindness can become a trap, one that Marcus Aurelius, a wise Stoic philosopher, would caution us against. Imagine yourself as someone who always rushes to help others, never saying no. It's like giving out pieces of yourself until there's nothing left. You become the person who's always there for others, but when you look around, you find yourself standing alone in your time of need. It's not just about being kind, it's about being kind to yourself as well. Marcus would remind us that our first duty is to our own well-being. Without it, we can't genuinely be there for others. Consider the story of two neighboring gardeners, one who meticulously cared for their own garden, and another who, despite having their own plot, frequently tended to everyone else's gardens. The diligent gardener, understanding the importance of self-care, nurtured their garden with the right balance of attention and resources, resulting in a vibrant and flourishing space. This gardener's plot was not only a source of personal joy, but also provided surplus produce to share with neighbors. On the other hand, the disproportionately giving gardener spent so much time and effort on others' gardens that their own plot became neglected. Without proper care, their garden wilted and the yields were meager. In their quest to be helpful, they overlooked their own needs, leaving their garden, and metaphorically, themselves depleted. Let this be a reminder to reflect before diving headfirst into helping others. Ask yourself, is this help sustainable? Am I preserving my well-being? The ancient Stoics would encourage us to practice Stoicism by setting healthy boundaries and ensuring that, in our quest to be kind, we do not forget to be kind to ourselves. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup. In Stoicism, the aim is to maintain your inner peace and integrity while contributing positively to the lives of others, ensuring a balanced and fulfilling life for both you and those you wish to help. 2. Reciprocity has an expiration date. Generosity is a virtue that enriches our lives and those around us, yet it harbors a subtle trap when done without moderation. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy still echoing wisdom in our modern hustle, teaches us a critical lesson about the limits of kindness. Offering help with an open heart is noble, but expecting the same measure of generosity in return can lead us down a path of disappointment. Life has a way of showing us that the good we do today might not be remembered tomorrow. This isn't a reflection of our worth or the value of our deeds, but a natural drift of human memory and gratitude. Consider the act of giving as planting a tree. You nurture it, hoping it will grow and perhaps one day offer shade or fruit. But nature has its course. Storms, droughts, and seasons change. Similarly, when we extend kindness, we must detach from the expectation of a direct return. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, advise us to focus on our actions, not their outcomes. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. He stated, reminding us that the joy of giving should come from the act itself, not from the anticipation of repayment. Embracing this mindset shields us from the sting of unmet expectations. It teaches us emotional resilience, allowing us to continue being kind and generous without feeling depleted or taken advantage of. This doesn't mean we should harden our hearts, but rather that we should find balance. Recognize the impact of your kindness as a reflection of your character, not a transaction. By doing so, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also cultivate a form of generosity that is pure, self-sustaining, and genuinely fulfilling. This Stoic principle encourages us to give freely but wisely, ensuring our kindness enriches us, regardless of how the world responds. In your daily interactions, how can you apply the principle of giving without expectation? Think about a specific scenario where you can offer kindness or support without seeking anything in return. Consider the practical steps you might take to ensure your generosity remains a source of personal fulfillment rather than depletion. 3. Received requests have no limits. Reflecting on history, it's fascinating to observe the extreme services royalty demanded, from dressing to personal hygiene, all performed by attendants. Fast forward to today, and it's clear that people still have expectations of us, often asking for favors they could easily handle themselves. Stoicism shines a light on this, teaching us the value of setting boundaries and embracing moderation. This ancient philosophy serves as a beacon, guiding us through the sea of endless requests, enabling us to act with intention and preserve our emotional well-being. It isn't about denying help, but about finding balance, ensuring we don't lose ourselves while supporting others. Take, for instance, the poignant tale of a mother and her adult daughter in a quaint town. The mother, out of love, cared for her daughter to the point of preventing her from embracing her responsibilities. This dynamic continued until the mother's untimely demise, which surprisingly catalyzed the daughter's independence. This story underlines a crucial lesson. While our intentions may be pure, excessive support can inadvertently stifle growth. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, encapsulated this wisdom in his meditation. A man's job is to stand upright, not to be kept upright by others. This insight urges us to encourage self-reliance, fostering a balance that benefits everyone involved. Seneca, with his profound insights into human connections, observed, "He who begins to be your friend because of the benefit will also cease because of the benefit." This serves as a powerful reminder to nurture relationships based on genuine connections rather than transactional interactions. True friendship and support should not hinge on what we can offer, but on mutual respect and understanding. Stoicism teaches us to value ourselves not for what we can give, but for who we are, cultivating self-esteem and authentic connections. Stoicism empowers us to embrace moderation, setting boundaries to protect our well-being while still extending genuine support to others. By prioritizing our responsibilities and honoring our needs, we not only preserve our authenticity, but also engage in more meaningful acts of generosity. This balanced approach to life and relationships ensures that we remain true to ourselves and our values, leading a life of virtue and fulfillment. As we navigate the demands of modern life, let us remember that being mindful of our own needs is not selfishness, but a necessary act of self-care. 4. Being seen and treated as fragile. Stoicism teaches us a powerful lesson about inner resilience and self-command. It's about building a fortress within, honing the art of self-restraint, and drawing clear lines in the sand that define our personal space. Over time, constantly bending over backward for others can ironically lead to being perceived as weak. Without firm boundaries, we become exposed, easily exploited by those who see our generosity not as a strength, but as an opening to take advantage of. This cycle of overextension and exploitation drains us, leaving us feeling undervalued and overburdened. Yet the moment we start to assertively say no, a shift occurs. We're no longer the go-to for every request or demand. This assertiveness broadcasts a newfound respect for ourselves, signaling to others that we value our time and energy, warranting their respect in return. Cicero, a luminary in Stoic philosophy, encapsulated this when he asserted, "What you think of yourself is much more important than what others think of you." By setting boundaries and exercising self-discipline, we not only protect our mental and emotional well-being, but also command respect from those around us. Remember, the power of no is transformative. It's a declaration of self-worth and a testament to the respect you demand from the world. Embrace this mantra and watch as it reshapes the dynamics of your relationships, fostering mutual respect grounded in dignity and self-value. However, embodying this change isn't without its challenges. Being universally available often attracts those seeking aid, sidelining you when the time for celebration comes. It's a harsh reality where your open-heartedness might lead to exclusion from moments of joy, confined to the role of the helper, absent in times of leisure. This realization, though bitter, serves as a litmus test for discerning genuine connections from opportunistic ones. It's an exercise in recognizing the true value of relationships, encouraging a mindful approach to whom we offer our time and energy. Did you know that the practice of setting boundaries, a core principle of not only improves our personal well-being, but also enhances the quality of our relationships? It's a curious but true aspect of human psychology. When we respect ourselves enough to say no, we often gain the respect of others. This paradoxical effect highlights the transformative power of self-respect and the importance of discernment in our connections. By embracing wisdom, we not only protect ourselves from burnout, but also cultivate relationships that are truly enriching and reciprocal. If you have learned anything of value so far, leave a thumbs up to show your support. Now, let's discuss strategies to avoid being used by others and to avoid the dangers of too much kindness. First strategy: eliminate the fear of saying no. Reflect deeply on why the word no often feels so heavy, tracing its weight back to early lessons that equated niceness with acceptance. Such lessons, deeply ingrained during our formative years, come laced with a fear of rejection, shaping a belief system that equates our worth with perpetual accommodation. Yet the philosophy of Stoicism invites us to challenge and reject these ingrained notions, advocating for a life of deliberate choice rather than one led by the undercurrents of past conditioning. As adults, we wield the autonomy to redefine our interactions, recognizing that the fears instilled in us as children no longer hold sway. Through the lens of Stoicism, we're equipped with the mental tools to analyze our emotions, allowing us to respond to life's demands with thoughtfulness rather than being puppeteered by past habits. Asserting boundaries by saying no, especially when requests encroach upon our well-being or sense of fairness, becomes not just an act of defiance against outdated fears, but a profound exercise in self-respect and autonomy. However, it's crucial to balance our newfound assertiveness with empathy and emotional intelligence. Stoicism doesn't merely advocate for self-interest or isolation, but stresses the importance of contributing positively to our community and the lives of those around us. The philosophy encourages us to find a middle ground, where we can offer help and support to others without compromising our well-being. This is where emotional intelligence comes into play, allowing us to discern when and how to help in a manner that is both beneficial to others and sustainable for us. Recognizing the genuine needs of others while also being mindful of our own limits is a testament to true wisdom. It ensures that our acts of kindness are not only acts of self-discipline, but also of compassion and understanding, fostering a society where mutual respect and support thrive. Second strategy: pay attention to your feelings. Embracing Stoicism nudges us toward introspection and mindfulness, guiding us to scrutinize our thoughts and emotions while fostering mental resilience. This ancient wisdom encourages us to become custodians of our inner peace by observing our reactions and feelings, especially in acts of generosity. It teaches us that true fulfillment in assisting others should elevate us, akin to the buoyancy of clouds. Conversely, feelings of exhaustion, irritation, or exploitation signal a need to recalibrate. It's essential to recognize when our contributions, though not obligatory, begin to erode our serenity. Acknowledging this discomfort is not self-deception, but a courageous act of self-care, ensuring that our benevolence remains a source of joy rather than a drain on our spirit. Third strategy: see yourself as a priority. It's easy to become a maestro in the most obscure fields, yet completely overlook our own well-being. Echoing the Stoic virtues of discipline and self-esteem, carving out moments for self-care is non-negotiable. Stoicism, after all, nurtures the soul, teaching us the art of self-preservation. So, sidestep self-neglect, nurture your physical, emotional, and mental health, and acknowledge your presence. Elevate your needs. This approach demands your full commitment. Embrace your entirety. Forgive your past missteps, and view the unfolding year as a canvas for Stoic renewal. Select an endeavor solely for your pleasure, honoring this time as a testament to self-love. Uphold your boundaries without guilt in declining others if demands encroach on your sanctuary. Offer assistance within your constraints, underscoring that your personal revival takes precedence. Fourth strategy: identify the takers. Embracing Stoic virtues like self-discipline and discernment empowers us to distinguish relationships that enrich us from those that deplete our spirit. Engaging with individuals who perpetually demand more creates dependency and depletes our ability to preserve and deploy our time effectively. Be it in terms of attention, time, or resources, mirrors a dynamic where we, the nurturers, are left exhausted, our energies sapped by the insatiable. Stoicism teaches us the value of inner fortitude, reminding us that change is a door only one can unlock for oneself. Believing we can transform others through sheer goodwill is a fallacy. True transformation is a personal journey, ignited by individual willpower, not external interventions. This philosophy doesn't advocate for cold-heartedness, but champions a balanced approach to relationships. It's a dance of give and take, where excessive generosity can leave us barren, while stinginess isolates us. Stoicism encourages us to harness our capacity for kindness and generosity, yet also to wield the sword of discernment, cutting ties when necessary for our well-being. It's about finding equilibrium, ensuring our acts of kindness are not at the expense of our own vitality. Remember, the strongest relationships are those where both parties grow, not where one withers so the other can bloom. Stoicism invites us to strike a balance, compelling us to carefully evaluate our actions and their impacts. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining equilibrium in our generosity, urging us not to exhaust our resources to the detriment of our primary objective, living a fulfilling life. Conversely, it warns against being overly cautious in our giving, suggesting instead that we use our generosity wisely. Life's most challenging truth is often this: the only barrier between where you are and where you want to be is your decision to rise. It's not luck, it's not perfect timing, and it's not even raw talent. It's you, right here, right now, choosing to believe you're capable of more. This isn't about waiting for the stars to align or for life to hand you an opportunity. The Stoics knew better. Epictetus taught that while we can't control external events, we always control how we respond to them. And today, we're focusing on one of the most transformative responses you can have: the decision to act as if you're the best. Let's be honest, doubt is universal. That nagging voice whispering you're not ready, not qualified, not enough. But what if you didn't need to wait until you felt ready? What if the secret to becoming the best was deciding to carry yourself like you already are? The truth is, progress isn't made by waiting for the perfect moment. It's made by stepping forward with confidence and intent, even when the path ahead feels uncertain. Marcus Aurelius, in his daily reflections, reminded himself to focus on his own actions and to embody virtue in all circumstances. That's what we're diving into today, the mindset shift that can reshape how you face challenges, pursue goals, and live your life. This isn't about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about unlocking your full potential by embracing the power you already have. If this resonates with you, I have a small favor to ask. Hit the subscribe button. It's free, and it helps us bring more of this content to people like you. Now let's get started. 1. The power of deciding to be the best. The moment you decide to live up to your full potential is the moment your life starts to change. It's not about waiting for the right opportunity or hoping for external circumstances to improve. It's about making an internal decision, a decision to show up every day as the best version of yourself. This idea echoes the teachings of the Stoics, who believe that our true power lies in how we choose to approach life. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The decision to be the best begins with that mindset. This mindset isn't about being perfect or better than others. It's about setting a standard for yourself and committing to continuous growth. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, constantly reminded himself to act with virtue, not for glory or praise, but because it was the right thing to do. He believed that every day was an opportunity to strive for excellence, not in competition with others, but in competition with his own potential. When you decide to be the best, you're not saying you'll never make mistakes or face challenges. The Stoics were clear that life is full of obstacles, but they also believed that these obstacles are what shape us. By deciding to be the best, you choose to face those challenges head-on, using them as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. This is where your life starts to transform. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making the choice now, in this moment, to act with purpose and confidence. From this decision, everything else flows. You raise your standards, your actions align with your goals, and you begin to move closer to the person you know you can be. That's the power of deciding to be the best. 2. What if I'm not the best? Some of you might be thinking, but I'm not the best. I'm nowhere close. How can I act as if I am? And that's completely understandable. It's natural to feel like you're not at the top. But here's the thing, you don't have to be the best to act like the best. The beauty of this mindset is that it works even when you're not at the top. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean pretending or being delusional. It's about shifting your mindset to unlock your full potential, and that starts with how you view yourself. This aligns perfectly with Stoicism. The Stoics believed that we have control over our mindset and how we respond to life's challenges. So, even if you're not the best right now, you can still choose to carry yourself with confidence, discipline, and purpose, traits that the best exemplify. When you act as if you're the best, something powerful starts to happen. You begin to believe it, and when you believe it, you start to become it. This isn't some magical thinking or false confidence. It's a proven psychological shift that affects your actions. The Stoics taught us that our beliefs shape our behaviors. When we act as if we are capable and competent, we become more so. This is a self-fulfilling prophecy, a concept the Stoics were well aware of. Take a job interview, for example. If you walk in nervous, doubting yourself and thinking you're not good enough, you're likely going to perform poorly. But if you walk in with the mindset that you are the best person for the job, carrying yourself with confidence, speaking clearly about your skills, and believing in your value, that changes everything. Even if you don't get the job, that shift in mindset prepares you for the next opportunity. You've practiced confidence and built resilience, which will serve you moving forward. So, when you say to yourself, "I'm not the best," the Stoics would remind you, that's not the point. The point is to act as if you are. By doing so, you align your actions with the person you want to become, and your ability to control your life will improve. So, the goal isn't to be perfect, but to continuously strive for excellence, always improving, just as Stoic philosophy teaches us. 3. Why acting like you're the best matters. When I say act as if you are the best, I don't mean strutting around like you're better than everyone else. Far from it. Acting like you're the best isn't about looking down on others or becoming arrogant. It's about holding yourself to the highest possible standard and striving for excellence, not for external validation, but for your own growth. So when I say act as if you're the best, I'm talking about adopting the mindset of someone who is already at the top of their game. This is the kind of mindset we're after. Acting like you're the best isn't about pretending to know everything or never making mistakes. It's about showing up with the belief that you are fully capable of handling whatever comes your way. This belief shapes your actions. When you believe you're the best, you act like it. You carry yourself with confidence, and people notice. The Stoics would remind us that this confidence isn't external, it's internal. It comes from knowing that you're living in alignment with your values and doing your best in every situation. The key difference here is that arrogance seeks to elevate you above others, but acting like you're the best is about lifting yourself up to your own highest potential. It's about striving for excellence while staying humble and grounded, just like the Stoics taught. You're not aiming for perfection, but for progress, always working on yourself, always learning, and always moving forward. Or practice makes reality. When you hear the phrase, act as if you're the best, it might feel like pretending at first. And maybe, in a sense, it is. But here's the truth. What you consistently practice becomes your reality. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca famously said, "We become what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This means that the more you practice something, whether it's confidence, discipline, or resilience, the more it becomes part of who you are. Let's break this down. When you start acting as if you're the best, it might feel unnatural. You might think, who am I to carry myself with such confidence? But the beauty of human nature is that we are incredibly adaptable. The Stoics believed that we are shaped by our thoughts and actions. If you consistently act with confidence, you start to feel more confident. If you make disciplined choices in your life, over time, you become more disciplined. While away the summer, it's not about faking it forever. It's about practicing the qualities you want to embody until they become second nature. Think of it like building a muscle. At first, lifting weights feels hard, even uncomfortable, but as you keep practicing, your strength grows. Acting as if you're the best works the same way. Each time you practice it, you reinforce that mindset, and eventually it becomes less of an act and more of a habit. The Stoics understood this process. Epictetus often reminded his students that we have control over how we respond to the world. By practicing virtuous actions, we align our inner selves with the kind of person we want to become. Let's say you want to become more confident in social situations. At first, you might feel awkward, like you're putting on a show. But the more you practice standing tall, speaking clearly, and engaging with others, the more you begin to feel that confidence. Eventually, it stops feeling like an act, and you realize that you've actually become more comfortable in these situations. The same goes for any area of life. If you practice making healthy choices, over time you become someone who naturally lives a healthier lifestyle. If you practice managing your finances well, you eventually become someone who is financially secure. The Stoic idea of practicing virtue teaches us that we don't have to wait for change to happen. We can create it through our daily actions. The key is consistency. It's not about doing it once and expecting a transformation. It's about showing up every day and practicing the qualities that align with your highest potential. Over time, what started as practice becomes your reality. You become the best version of yourself by repeatedly acting like it. As the Stoics taught, your actions shape your character, and your character shapes your life. So, keep practicing because your reality is being built by what you do each day. 5. Continuous growth. The Stoics believed in the importance of continuous growth, and that's exactly what this mindset is all about. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean you think you've reached perfection or that you can stop improving. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about committing to a life of constant learning, discipline, and refinement. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This means that no matter how good you become, there's always room for growth. The best people in any field, whether it's a skilled athlete, a successful business person, or a wise philosopher, never stop improving. They remain students of life. When you act as if you're the best, you're committing to this same process of mastery. You're saying, I'm going to carry myself like the best, and I'm going to put in the work to become the best. This mindset is rooted in humility, not arrogance. The Stoics valued humility deeply. Marcus Aurelius, despite being one of the most powerful men in the world, constantly reminded himself to stay grounded and continue improving. He didn't see his position as the end of the road, but as a responsibility to strive for personal excellence every day. When you adopt this mindset, you're doing the same. You're striving to be better today than you were yesterday, knowing that growth is a lifelong pursuit. Acting as if you're the best means raising your own standards. It means taking responsibility for your personal development in every area of life. In your relationships, for example, it's about asking yourself, what would the best version of me do? How would the best partner, the best friend, or the best parent behave? It's not about pretending to be perfect, but about continuously working to improve and show up as the best version of yourself. It's about continuously working to improve and show up as the best version of yourself. In your health, it means acting as if you're in the best shape of your life. How would you treat your body if you believed you were capable of achieving peak health? What choices would you make in terms of your diet, exercise, and habits? The Stoic path is one of self-discipline and making intentional choices that lead to long-term well-being. 6. Facing weakness. Embracing your shortcomings. When we talk about acting as if you're the best, it's easy to think it means ignoring your flaws or pretending they don't exist. But in reality, it's the opposite. Acting like you're the best means having the courage to face your weaknesses head-on and use them as opportunities for growth. The Stoics were masters at this. They taught that self-awareness and honest reflection are essential for improvement. Healthy, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By the time of his death, Marcus Aurelius had become part of that power is understanding where we fall short. Not to feel ashamed, but to learn and grow. The best people in any field aren't those who believe they're flawless. They are the ones who understand their shortcomings better than anyone else. But they don't let those shortcomings define them. Instead, they use them as motivation to keep improving. The Stoics believed in embracing challenges and discomfort as part of life's natural course. Epictetus reminded us that the path to mastery requires us to face obstacles with resilience. When we see our weaknesses clearly, we can approach them with a mindset of progress. Think about it this way. If you ignore your weaknesses, they don't go away. In fact, they tend to grow bigger and more disruptive over time. But if you acknowledge them and take steps to improve, you become stronger. The Stoics didn't see weakness as failure. They saw it as an opportunity to practice arete, which means striving for excellence. When you face your weaknesses, you're giving yourself the chance to become better, more disciplined, and more capable. This process requires humility. Acting like you're the best doesn't mean you think you're perfect. It means you're committed to continuous growth. You can be confident in your strengths while being fully aware of where you need to improve. The Stoics, especially Seneca, often wrote about the importance of learning from every experience, even failures. In fact, Seneca believed that failure and setbacks are often our greatest teachers. They reveal where we need to grow and push us to develop the skills or mindset we might lack. The key is to see your weaknesses not as something to be ashamed of, but as a natural part of your development. By facing them with honesty and a desire to improve, you take control of your growth. This is where true strength lies, in the ability to confront what's holding you back and work to overcome it. And the Stoic approach is to view life's challenges, including your own shortcomings, as fuel for becoming a better, more resilient person. When you act as if you're the best, you're not pretending to be perfect. Instead, you're showing that you have the strength to face your weaknesses, learn from them, and grow into the person you aspire to be. This mindset will carry you forward, just as it did for the Stoics, who embraced their flaws, learned from them, and continued on their path toward excellence. Learning graces rather than self-complicity. 7. Elevate those around you. When you act as if you're the best, it's not just about improving your own life. It's about raising the bar for everyone around you. The Stoics believed in the concept of sympathia, The idea that we are all connected and that our actions impact the whole. When you strive for excellence, you inspire others to do the same. Your confidence, discipline, and commitment to growth naturally elevate the people you interact with, whether it's in your family, your friendships, or your workplace. Think about how it feels to be around someone who carries themselves with purpose and clarity. Their energy is contagious. They don't need to say it, but their actions, their presence, show others what's possible. This is how you can influence others, by leading by example. When you act as if you're the best, you become a source of inspiration for those who might be struggling with self-doubt or uncertainty. You show them that it's possible to rise above challenges by adopting the right mindset and staying focused on what truly matters. The Stoics were not concerned with competition in the way we often think of it today. They believed in helping others achieve virtue and wisdom. When you raise your standards and strive for excellence, you're not just lifting yourself. You're creating an environment where those around you feel encouraged to rise with you. Acting as if you're the best means embodying qualities that others respect and want to emulate. By doing this, you not only improve your own life but also contribute to the growth and success of the people in your circle. It's a ripple effect of positive change, just as the Stoics would have intended. 8. How to handle failure. Failure is something we all face, and the Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that failure is not something to be feared, but rather an inevitable part of life's journey. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the path toward it. When you act as if you're the best, it doesn't mean you believe you'll never fail. It means you approach failure with resilience, knowing that every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. The Stoics believed in focusing on what you can control. You can't always control the outcome, but you can control how you respond to failure. Instead of seeing failure as a personal defeat, see it as feedback, a lesson on what didn't work and how you can improve. Epictetus reminded his students that we should accept failure as part of life and use it to build our character. Failure isn't a reason to give up, but a reason to keep going, armed with more knowledge and experience. When you face failure with the Stoic mindset, you stop seeing it as something to avoid. Instead, you embrace it as a chance to practice perseverance and adaptability. The best people in any field, whether in business, sports, or philosophy, aren't those who never fail, but those who know how to bounce back stronger each time. As the Stoics taught, our true strength comes from how we rise after we fall. So the next time you fail, remember that it's not the end of the story. It's a crucial step on your journey to greatness. Acting as if you're the best isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. The Stoics believed in the importance of consistent, deliberate action. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, urged himself to approach each day with purpose and intention. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Second sermon. This practice of showing up every day with the commitment to excellence is how you move closer to becoming the best version of yourself. The beauty of this mindset is that you don't need to wait until you feel ready. The Stoics knew that waiting for the perfect moment often leads to inaction. Instead, they taught us to start where we are, with what we have. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. By acting as if you're the best each day, you're practicing the qualities that will eventually define you. Over time, what started as a conscious effort becomes part of your character with purpose. Remember, this isn't about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about aligning your actions with your potential and striving for excellence in everything you do. Whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal growth, acting as if you're the best helps you raise your own standards and live with purpose. In a world where every smile hides deeper thoughts, and every handshake means more than just a greeting, it's easy to overlook the true nature of a person. Today, we'll dive into the hidden layers of trust and deception, exploring the complexities of human relationships. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control the actions of others, we can control how we respond and understand them, which shapes our connections. Join me as we uncover the hidden forces in everyday interactions and learn the wisdom that can help us live not only successful, but truly meaningful lives. Stick with us, and by the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of how to approach the world, not just carefully, but with true insight. If you appreciate what we're doing, a quick, free favor I'll ask is for you to hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you don't skip any part of the video to fully grasp the valuable insights and stories we're about to share. Let's dive in. Number 1. The constant critic. This person seems to have made it their mission to find fault in everything around them. Every project you undertake, every idea you propose, every aspect of your personality might never seem good enough for them. Their feedback, often lacking the warmth of constructive criticism, feels more like relentless judgment, chipping away at your confidence and self-esteem with each comment. The constant critic often operates under the guise of just being honest or helping you improve. But there's a fine line between helpful criticism and discouraging nitpicking. Their relentless critiques can create a toxic environment where, instead of growing, you find yourself guarding every action, every word, for fear of criticism. This stifles creativity and initiative, making you doubt your abilities and value. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This powerful Stoic reminder teaches us not to internalize the harsh words or negative perceptions of others. Stoicism invites us to consider the source of criticism and to reflect on whether there is truth and value in it. If there is something to be learned, use it to your advantage. If not, let it roll off you like water off a duck's back. To deal with a constant critic, it's essential to maintain perspective. Understand that their criticism says more about their own worldviews, insecurities, or personal frustrations than it does about your capabilities or worth. Construct boundaries to protect your mental space. You can listen, assess, and then choose whether to accept or discard their words. Engage with them from a place of strength, acknowledging the feedback without allowing it to diminish your sense of self-worth. In Stoic practice, we learn to focus on our own actions and reactions, which are within our control, rather than attempting to control the opinions or behavior of others, which are not. By applying this principle, you can preserve your inner peace and continue your journey of personal growth, even in the face of constant criticism. Number 2. The manipulative friend. This is someone who at first glance seems to understand you better than anyone else. They nod at all the right moments, and their empathetic smiles seem tailor-made just for you. But as time marches on, a disturbing pattern emerges. You begin to notice that their understanding isn't fueled by genuine care, but rather it's a strategic play, using your vulnerabilities for their personal gain. They are like the chess players of social interactions, each move calculated, not to help you, but to advance their position. In your moments of sharing and vulnerability, they're not just listening, they're collecting information. This data isn't stored away to support you. Instead, it's often weaponized, used to push you towards decisions and actions that serve their interests, not yours. Their guise of care is just that, a disguise, and under this mask is not the ally you thought you had, but a strategist who views relationships as tools to be used rather than bonds to be cherished. Correct them. Now, Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity over comfort, truth over pleasant illusions. Marcus Aurelius advised us to be wary of the impressionable nature of our own minds and the intentions of those around us. He would likely counsel us to observe not just what friends say, but what they do, their actions, how they discuss other friends when they're not around, how they handle your secrets, and how they respect your boundaries. These are the true indicators of their character. So, how do you deal with a manipulative friend? Start by setting firm, clear boundaries. Share selectively, understanding that not every internal thought needs external validation, especially from someone whose motivations are questionable. Slowly distance yourself from their influence and invest more in relationships that bring positivity and growth. Real friends enhance your life and inspire you to expand rather than contract. They add layers to your existence through support and genuine care, not subtract from it through manipulation and deceit. Number 3, the inattentive listener. You know the type. They nod in agreement and might even throw in a vague, but you can tell they're not really with you. They're physically present, yes, but mentally they've checked out to some distant place, far from the conversation at hand. It's like talking to a wall that occasionally nods. These interactions can be incredibly frustrating because they lack the fundamental essence of communication, genuine exchange and understanding. Relationships, be they personal or professional, thrive on mutual understanding and active engagement. When someone consistently fails to pay attention, it sends a clear message. What you're saying isn't important to them. This behavior not only stifles the flow of ideas, but also erodes the emotional connection that true listening can forge. Effective communication is a two-way street, and when it becomes one-sided, the relationship suffers. The Stoic practice of present-mindedness teaches us to fully engage with the task at hand. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, listening attentively is not just a courtesy, it's a duty. It's about respecting the person speaking to you by giving them your full attention, reflecting the Stoic belief in the importance of every human interaction. If you find yourself frequently on the other end of an inattentive listener, there are a few Stoic strategies you might employ. First, ensure your own communication is clear and engaging. Sometimes simply asking direct questions can snap the listener out of their reverie and bring them back to the moment. If that doesn't work, a gentle call-out might be necessary. Let them know you've noticed their distraction and invite them back into the conversation. However, if the pattern persists, it might be worth considering the value this person adds to your life. Are they giving you the respect and attention you deserve? If not, it may be time to redirect your energy towards relationships where mutual engagement and respect are given freely. Number 4. The superficially friendly. At first glance, they seem like the most personable individuals you could meet. With a wide smile, they'll ask about your day and make all the right noises that suggest they care. But, as you soon might discover, their warmth has little depth, resembling more a shallow puddle than a welcoming ocean. These individuals are the social butterflies, gracefully moving from one group to another, never really settling long enough to form deep, meaningful connections. In the world of these superficially friendly people, interactions are often a series of pleasant exchanges that skim the surface of politeness, but never dive into the essence of true friendship. They might be present at every party and appear in all your social circles, but when the chips are down, their presence is often as fleeting as their commitment. True friendship, as we know, isn't just about sharing laughs in the sunlight. It's about standing together in the storm, something these individuals may find too daunting. Stoicism teaches us the importance of genuine relationships and the value of a small circle of close friends over a wide network of acquaintances. Seneca emphasized the quality of friendships rather than quantity. He advocated for relationships where mutual respect and sincerity prevail, guiding us to seek friends who mirror our own values and who provide a stable, reliable presence in our lives. To navigate the realm of the superficially friendly, it's crucial to recognize the signs early. Enjoy their company if you must, in those light-hearted moments that require nothing more than casual interaction. However, invest your emotional energy wisely. Reserve the depths of your trust and the details of your vulnerabilities for those who have proven themselves in times of both joy and adversity. Cultivating discernment in your social interactions isn't just wise, it's necessary to protect your emotional well-being and ensure that your circle remains authentic. Number 5. The constant irritator. This person seems to have mastered the art of irritation. With their knack for poking and prodding, they know exactly how to get under your skin, Whether it's through subtle digs, backhanded compliments, or slight provocations, they engage in a sort of emotional chess game. Their goal? To unsettle you, to knock you off balance. For their amusement or advantage, the constant irritator thrives on the reaction they can elicit from you. Each annoyed glance, each sigh of frustration, is a win for them, a testament to their ability to manipulate the emotional currents around them. This can be incredibly draining, as it feels like you must constantly guard against their next move, always bracing for the small yet persistent annoyances they create. However, here is where the Stoic teachings can become your stronghold. Stoicism tells us that external events and people's actions don't upset us. Rather, it's our judgments about them that do. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom is particularly applicable when dealing with the constant irritation. By adjusting your perceptions, by deciding that their actions will not dictate your emotional state, you empower yourself. You take control back from the irritator and place it firmly within yourself. Practicing this Stoic detachment involves recognizing the intent behind their irritations. Once you see that their behavior is designed to unbalance you, you can choose not to let it affect you. Imagine their words and actions losing power, fading into the background noise of your life. It's not about ignoring them or pretending the irritation doesn't exist, but rather about changing your response to it. You can acknowledge their attempt to unsettle you without granting them the victory of seeing you perturbed. Engaging with a constant irritator thus becomes less about confronting each irritation and more about maintaining your inner peace. This is the ultimate demonstration of strength. Not that you never feel irritated, but that you can move beyond it, preserving your tranquility amidst the storm they try to stir. Number 6. The empathy-lacking individual. This type of person can be particularly challenging to deal with because they seem almost blind to the emotional landscapes of others. They navigate through life focused solely on their own needs and goals, often at the expense of those around them. Their conversations may center overwhelmingly on their achievements, their problems, and their perspectives, with little regard for anyone else's. In interactions with an empathy-lacking individual, you might find that your feelings and experiences are consistently dismissed or outright ignored. This isn't just about a lack of emotional intelligence. It's a fundamental disconnect in recognizing and valuing the humanity in others. Such individuals often leave a trail of bruised relationships behind them, puzzled as to why their interactions are fraught with conflicts and misunderstandings. Stoicism offers a profound remedy to this mindset. It teaches us the importance of looking beyond ourselves and understanding that the human experience is interconnected. Stoics like Epictetus emphasize the role of empathy in human ethics. He taught that we should listen and respond to others with kindness and understanding, recognizing that we are all part of a larger community, each with our own struggles and triumphs. If you find yourself dealing with someone who lacks empathy, Stoicism advises not to meet their indifference with anger or resentment. Instead, see this as an opportunity to practice patience and to lead by example. Show them empathy, not because they necessarily deserve it, but because it's the virtuous thing to do. However, it's also important to set boundaries. Protecting your emotional well-being is crucial, and sometimes that means limiting your exposure to those who drain it. Engaging with an empathy-lacking individual requires a balance of compassion and self-preservation. While you can attempt to model empathetic behavior, you must also recognize when to step back and not allow their self-centeredness to impact your peace. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius pointed out, what we do now echoes in eternity and compassion, even in the face of apathy. This is not just about changing them, it's about holding true to your values, regardless of how others choose to act. Number 7. The eternal victim. This individual seems to live in a perpetual state of crisis. No matter the day, the season, or the circumstance, something is always going terribly wrong for them. But what's particularly challenging about the eternal victim is not just the frequency of their misfortunes, it's their apparent unwillingness to do anything about them. They seem to thrive on the sympathy and attention their woes attract, using their endless stream of problems as a tool to draw others in and keep them close. And the prevalence of suicide among the victims can be pointed to as a sign to some extent as well. The eternal victim's tales of woe can be emotionally draining. You might find yourself constantly pulled into their dramas, spending energy and time trying to help solve problems that mysteriously never seem to get resolved. Their dependency on your support might feel rewarding at first, as if your presence truly matters. However, it often leads to a one-sided relationship, where your efforts are taken for granted and your own needs and issues are sidelined or ignored. Stoicism offers a powerful framework for dealing with the eternal victim. Stoics like Epictetus taught that we should concern ourselves with things within our control and accept those that are not. When interacting with an eternal victim, it's crucial to recognize the limits of your influence. You can offer support and guidance, but you cannot change their situation. Only they can do that. The Stoics would advise us to practice empathy, but also detachment. Empathize with their pain, but detach from the notion that you are responsible for fixing their life. It's also wise to set boundaries with the eternal victim. If their chaos begins to encroach on your peace, it may be time to reassess how much of your time and emotional energy you can afford to give. Helping them doesn't mean getting swept up in their endless cycle of crises. Instead, encourage them to take action and seek solutions, rather than merely consoling them. This approach not only protects your well-being, but also pushes them toward the kind of self-reliance and accountability that Stoicism values. Remember, while compassion is a virtue, it must not come at the cost of your own stability and happiness. The Stoics believed in the importance of inner peace and equanimity, and maintaining these in the face of another's perpetual chaos is both a challenge and a practice in Stoic philosophy. In doing so, you honor not only your mental and emotional health, but also foster a more balanced and healthy relationship with the eternal victim. Number 8. The toxic individual. This person is often a complex blend of many negative traits, each more damaging than the last. They might exhibit behaviors like manipulation, constant negativity, jealousy, or dishonesty. Being around them can feel like being caught in a storm, where your positive outlook and inner peace are constantly under threat. Their presence in your life can lead to feelings of doubt, insecurity, and even fear, as they seem to have a knack for souring what should be joyful experiences and turning strengths into perceived weaknesses. This person is often a complex blend of many negative traits, each more damaging than the last. They might exhibit behaviors like manipulation, constant negativity, jealousy, or dishonesty. Being around them can feel like being caught in a storm, where your positive outlook and inner peace are constantly under threat. Their presence in your life can lead to feelings of doubt, insecurity, and even fear, as they seem to have a knack for souring what should be joyful experiences and turning strengths into perceived weaknesses. Dealing with a toxic individual is challenging because their influence can seep into various aspects of your life, clouding your judgment and affecting your interactions with others. They often create an environment where you're always on the defensive, always having to shield yourself from their next negative outburst or manipulative tactic. This can be exhausting and deeply unsettling, challenging your mental and emotional stability. Epictetus offers wisdom that is particularly applicable when dealing with toxic people. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This guidance encourages us to focus on our responses rather than trying to change the toxic individual. It reminds us that our power lies in our reactions, our decisions, and our ability to maintain self-retrieve in the face of adversity. Social distancing. Implementing this Stoic approach involves setting firm boundaries with the toxic person. Clearly define what is not acceptable in their behavior towards you and be consistent in enforcing these limits. It's crucial to protect your space and peace of mind. If the toxic behavior continues despite your efforts, it may be necessary to distance yourself entirely from the individual. While this can be a difficult decision, especially if the toxic person is a close friend or family member, it's sometimes the healthiest choice you can make. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and encourage your growth. Cultivate relationships that bring positivity, mutual respect, and genuine support. By doing so, you reinforce your resilience against toxicity and foster an environment where you can thrive. Number 9. The two-faced individual. This person masters the art of duplicity, being charming and friendly to your face, but turning to slander the moment your back is turned. Their skill in wearing different masks for different audiences is disconcerting. They can make you feel like a confidant one moment, and the next, you might overhear them undermining you to others. It's a bewildering and hurtful experience to realize that someone you thought was a friend could so easily betray your trust. The two-faced individual not only strains individual relationships, but can also create a toxic environment around them. Their behavior fosters distrust, conflict, and insecurity among a group, whether it be in a workplace, a circle of friends, or within a family. Their actions are often driven by a desire for personal gain, be it power, influence, or mere amusement at causing disruption. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own virtue and integrity, and not to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Seneca advised to choose our company wisely, asserting that being alone is better than being in bad company. Stoicism also prompts us to reflect on our responses to betrayal. It's natural to feel hurt and angry when you discover someone's duplicity, but Stoics would counsel us to rise above these initial emotional reactions. They would urge us to respond with reason and dignity, maintaining our own ethical standards and not stooping to their level of deceit. In dealing with a two-faced individual, the most effective strategy is to distance yourself once their true nature is revealed. Reducing your emotional and personal investment in the relationship protects you from further harm. Moreover, it's important to cultivate relationships with people who value authenticity and transparency. Surround yourself with individuals who support and uplift you, both in your presence and in your absence. Choosing to interact with genuine people aligns with the Stoic principle of living a life of virtue. It not only fosters a healthier emotional environment, but also enables you to grow and thrive, unaffected by the underhanded tactics of those who choose duplicity over integrity. Remember, in dealing with a toxic individual, the goal isn't just to avoid their negative impact. It's to ensure that your life continues to be driven by your values, aspirations, and the pursuit of genuine happiness. You have the strength and the right to choose an environment and relationships that support your well-being and allow you to live your best life. And there you have it, a guide through the tricky terrains of human interactions. Remember, your peace of mind is precious, and whom you choose to trust plays a crucial role in preserving it. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a coworker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call, life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that, while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions, and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, When someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So, when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience. From a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-grace allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, If you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-gratrobe is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-gratrobe helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. Lastly, remember that practicing self-control is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you falter. That's just part of being human. What matters is that you recognize these moments, learn from them, and continue to strive for improvement. Each act of self-control, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right and a step towards becoming a wiser, more balanced person. To further increase the quality of your life, we recommend watching this video on how to deal with the toxic people in your life before they drain all your energy. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, every step towards mastering your emotions is a step towards a more peaceful life. Don't forget to check out one of the suggested videos on your screen to continue your journey. Together, we're not just learning, we're transforming.